What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Twin Wrestle Pod. You're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Now, let's get into this Saturday night's main event predictions. Currently for tonight's show, right? We have four matches, I believe. Yeah, I have four matches and acknowledgement ceremony segment here with the Tribal Chief making his appearance, the World Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns, and the King of New York, JB, Jalen Brunson, just ended the 50-year drought for the New York Knicks, NBA champions. So shout out to JB and the New York Knickerbockers. Now this segment, I don't know what this segment would entail, to be honest. It says acknowledgement set and fit for the world's most famous arena. Obviously, Roman Reigns is going to acknowledge Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks for accomplishing the feat and becoming NBA champions in the city of New York, and the Mecca is going to be on fire just because the New York Knicks will be there in the building. Jalen Brunson will be there, among others. We'll get to that later on. So, just going to be your run of the mill segment. I wouldn't be surprised to see Seth Rollins pop up in here because we're literally like 2.5, 3 weeks from SummerSlam. So this could be another way to promote their SummerSlam match at the Mecca. Or you probably get the Usos to build their 6-man tag match at SummerSlam as well. So I expect something like that to go on here. LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Solo to all be involved. I expect something big because you're not going to have Roman Reigns. It's not going to just be on a show like this and nothing big is going to happen, right? So I expect something big out of this segment. And where they slot this at in the show depends. They're going to be on Peacock, so they don't have to really worry about an overrun or being cut off at a certain hour. So I expect this segment to go pretty long, maybe 10, 15 minutes, maybe, depending on what is all in this segment. But I'm intrigued by it. Do I care about it? No, not really. For a reaction, yeah. All right, first match we're going to talk about. Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria. This is an interesting matchup. These two have been together for a very, very long time. Very long time. Probably since last summer, pretty much. The whole Bayley multiple personality character they was going with at first, where she was a heel mixed with a baby face and she's talking to herself and shit like that. You know, they dropped that angle. Now, Lyra turned on Bayley maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 at this point, after they lost their tag team match. I don't think it was against Roxanne and Raquel. Can't remember, but Lyra took her out, and they had an explanation last week, I think, on Raw, with Lyra telling her how Bayley has been holding her down, bringing the Bayley vortex with her, which is sucking everything dry pretty much, right? Bringing Lyra into the vortex. Lyra has had no momentum since joining Bayley. Nothing has been going in her favor since joining Bayley. I think she need to aim that toward the creative because the creative ain't doing shit for them. I just may add, right? But I'm interested to see this direction with Lyra. She's becoming a heel now, which I think she can pull off. She has dropped the whole bird look. She comes out there disheveled, no makeup, hair all frizzled, like she just woke up out of the bed and just came to Monday Night Raw. The outfit should look crazy. So I like that. I like her little tweaks to her attire and tweaks to her character with this heel turn. So it had the potential to go somewhere. Now, going somewhere in her eyes and going somewhere in WWE eyes is two different things, right? We've seen avenues of where WWE used Bayley as a catapult to catapult other talent. The problem with that is that Lyra Valkyria was already catapulted with her feud with Becky Lynch last year, but WWE diminished that feud by not having her challenge for the IC strap again, not having her advance in these tournaments like Queen of the Ring or nothing like that, or just giving her a facelift and moving her to a different brand or nothing like that. But I get that you want to build around Lyra. She's one of your future people in women's division on Raw, but they're solely focusing on Sol Ruka, which there's a problem there as well. So my issue with this is I want Lyra to win. I think WWE will have her win, but where do you go with Bayley after this? Like, Do she switch brands? Because she just can't keep losing, being the one to put everybody over. I'm sure she don't have a problem with doing that, but it gets Bailey nowhere. Like it does nothing for her character. I guess it's not supposed to, but in my eyes, you got to put something to where both people can come out of here with something to do afterwards. But Lyra should win this matchup since she's newly turned heel, and we're gonna see where she's going with this. Hopefully WWE put some steam behind it and let her do something, because that Raw Women's division needs some fucking help over there. Next up, Danhausen versus JD McDonough in a now no disqualification match. And now when I was talking about the New York Knickerbockers earlier, there was a segment on SmackDown with Jackie Redmond interviewing Danhausen, and he presented this stuffed animal in a cage. And it said something about Cat. He kept referencing Cat. And if you know the New York Knicks, you know who Cat is. Cat is the, synonym for Karl Anthony Towns, aka Cat. So Danhausen was saying, you never know what's going to happen when you got a cat in your corner. He kept referencing it. So obviously, they're telling you without telling you, Karl Anthony Towns is going to make his appearance in this matchup. And being that it's a no disqualification matchup, I expect Karl Anthony Towns to probably deliver a clothesline on Dominic or some shit like that on outside of the ring, causing a distraction to let Danhausen win this matchup. And he celebrate with the New York Knicks and get his jersey badge. So Danhausen is winning this matchup, but you want to have a lot of preference and a lot of interference. A lot of shit going on, a lot of shenanigans, but the New York Knickerbockers, specifically Karl Anthony Towns, will beat her because he's been at the Fanatics Fest with Rhea. I forget who else is. I don't know. EO was there. I can't remember, but a couple other people was there with him. Might have been Jey Uso as well, but Karl Anthony Towns will beat her. He will make his statement known in this matchup as well, so be on the lookout for that. Danhausen picks up the win here. WWE Women's Tag Team matchup for the Tag Team Championships. Paige and Brie Bella defending their Tag Team Championships against 2/3 of Fatal Influence, Laney Reed and Fallon Henley. This match here, WWE don't really try. They like 70-30 when it comes to trying in the women's division and tag team division, respectively. They don't give these girls really no segments, from what I've seen, like talking segments to build none of this stuff in this matchup. They always come out, and then it's a brawl or something like that. So very basic point by numbers shit when it comes to the builds for these tag team title matches. But it's interesting because you have Fatal Influence and you have Paige and Brie Bella in this matchup. Paige and Brie Bella, they've done okay. They've done okay with what they've given and the tag team division. And I know a lot of people harping on them about, they're not a real tag team. Please get them off the fucking screen, X, Y, and Z. But, bro, WWE don't have no real tag teams in this division if we haven't fucking noticed. The only tag teams you do have are Lash Legend and Nia Jax. You haven't seen Lash in a long time. You've seen Nia Jax on this SmackDown, right? This past weeks. Lyra and Bailey have broken up, so that's a tag team gone. Roxanne and Raquel are the only other tag team that I can think of on the top of my head. Julia and Kiana, they're broken up. So there's no tag teams outside of Paige and Brie Bella and Nikki Bella, Fallon Henny, Laney Reed, Raquel, and Roxanne. And that's pretty much it. And Michin and B-Fab, right? Those are only tag teams you have. So people like to harp on Paige and Brie Bella. They're not good. They're not this and not that. But, bruh, they have no tag teams. What else the fuck you want them to do? I would like them to be but better and make it make sense. So hopefully WWE does that here. What I would do is, in this match, for my prediction, I will put the belts on Laney Reed and Fallon Henley. But the problem with that is, right now, WWE keep having JC Jane fucking lose. And she just lost on this past Friday, right? To fucking Tiffany Stratton. What was the point of having Tiffany Stratton beat Julia for that championship and she don't defend a championship outside of her defense against Jade Cargill? There's a severe problem with WWE in these championships. No one defends the titles. Really. They don't. They defend them here and there. And that's a very big problem. And now it's even more a problem that Tiffany Stratton is in this ladder match. She beat JC Jane and now she can challenge for the WWE Women's Champion and become the interim champion. This would have worked if she wasn't the U.S. champion. They could have went the same route with JC Jane by giving her the U.S. strap and have Fallon and Laney be the tag team champs. So Fatal Influence can have championship gold leading into SummerSlam. I just don't know what they'll be doing. But if me, I'm going to predict Laney Reed and Fallon Henley get the championships over Nikki and over Paige and Brie Bella. And after the match, they jump Paige and Brie Bella, and you get the return of Nikki Bella coming out there to even the odds because she is in progress of returning. She was expected to come back in June. She was hoping very soon to come back in June. But obviously, June has passed. We are in July. Night of Champions has passed. Now we are Saturday night's main event. She's progressing because she is training in the ring currently. So I expect her to make an appearance tonight. For sure, to even the odds. Then you get the 6-woman tag at SummerSlam with Paige and the Bellas versus Fatal Influence. And then you go from the story from there. And you can book that thing all the way up towards your next pay-per-view. Whether you want to go Evolution again or before Survivor Series, whatever pay-per-view they have. But I'm going to take Laney Reed and Fallon Henley to become tag team champs. Will WWE pull the trigger? Probably not, though. All right, main event time. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes versus Gunther and Sami Zayn tag team matchup. Now, what makes this match very interesting, they added a stipulation yesterday that if Sami Zayn and Gunther win this match, they get to get added to the SummerSlam main event. It can go from a 1-on-1 match between Cody and CM Punk with Cody, CM Punk, Gunther, and Sami Zayn, which I'm in favor of. To be honest, I don't think Cody and CM Punk should be touching in a 1-on-1 capacity until WrestleMania, because that's a WrestleMania match. That's your main event for WrestleMania. That's why I didn't make videos regarding the Sami Zayn thing, because I was just disappointed in them for doing what they did. And they try to get as many eyes on SummerSlam as they can. But man, this shit gonna sell regardless, bro. You're not gonna put in 60,000, 70,000 in no stadium. You're not gonna do that. Book your shows to an adequate point to where you can get through the summer and get to WrestleMania and get to your big money matches. So we get to this main event match, this tag team match. I don't really see no other outcome besides Cody and CM Punk winning, so WWE can get their marquee match of Cody and CM Punk at SummerSlam. I would actually go on the other end and have Gunther and Sami win just to add it to Fatal 4-Way. But Gunther is in an issue with Nick Aldis, so I expect that to play a factor tonight. The only thing about this whole situation is, what does this do for Sami Zayn? What is his direction coming out of this match if CM Punk and Cody win and him and Gunther lose? What is the direction? He's probably going to eat the fall for sure. That's why Sami's here, unfortunately. So I'm going to take Cody and CM Punk, but I hope WWE has something for Sami Zayn at SummerSlam and not just him interfering in the match to break up the pinfall or whoever gets it between Cody and CM Punk. That would be just fucking lazy. WWE, turn your antenna zone, book this shit correctly, go with the Fatal 4-Way. You can stretch out Gunther and Nick Aldis until later in the year. That can be a marquee match for later in the year. Or if you want to go, when you go back to Saudi, you can do it there. But man, you gotta switch it up, do something different, man. You gotta do something different. So that's my predictions for Saturday night's main event. We're taking Punk and Cody main event. Fatal Influence for the tag team championships. Danhausen, that's the obvious pick. And I'm taking Lyra Valkyria, and that's my match predictions. I'll see you guys in the next video, man. You guys enjoy the show. We're gonna run it up and talk about more wrestling content soon. Peace out, y'all.